Well, Greg, 2 nights ago, the Boston Celtics blew a 30-point lead to the Atlanta Hawks and ended up losing that game. Wiggy said yesterday, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Paul Pierce echoed those exact sentiments from one Jermaine Wiggins.
Why would I be concerned about a team that's won 20 out of 23 games? Like, what's to be concerned about? Yeah, if anything, this is a wake-up call. This is like, all right, we got so many games left. We got slapped in the face. It's a tough pill to swallow. Let's get our mind back right. Let's understand the process. Let's not get bored with the process. There's a process to winning a championship, and you got to get through the regular season. They look bored. They smacking teams left and right, Skip. They're on pace to make history, to be one of the teams that's, with their margin of victory now is probably about 11, 12. I mean, they're bored. But to me, my message is to them, don't get bored with the process. Finish out the season strong going into the playoffs. But my level of concern is minimum.
Okay.
Yep.
There's the truth from Paul Pierce, Wiggy. He agrees with you. The truth. Now, Curtis has some concern about this Celtics team, but,
he's right. They're bored.
Paul Pierce doesn't share it. They're bored. Okay, they're professional athletes. They shouldn't
Greg,
get bored.
You know how it is. It's when you got, a handful of games left. You're so far ahead of everybody else. You're looking at it like he said. You've won 9 straight games. You're up by 30. You're better than every team you step on the court.
You know who can get bored?
You get bored.
Teams that have won championships, like the Yankees or the Patriots or the Chiefs or LeBron.
Football's different though.
I'm telling you, this team acts like they've already won something.
How?
Paul Pierce had a certain sense of urgency.
How do they act like they already won something?
Because they talk about their own individual place in the game versus the actual
when do they
team.
ever? This team is.
I think they do the opposite.
They do the opposite.
Look, Jason Tatum doesn't talk about where he is in the NBA.
No, I think Jason Tatum immediately gives credit to all the guys around him. Right. Jaylen Brown does the same. If anything,
Jaylen Brown said if he was on his own, he'd be scoring.
That was last year.
Yeah. No, that was this year.
No, last year he was.
It was like a week ago. We talked about it.
No, I think he liked something on.
He liked a tweet.
Right.
Yeah, somebody else's tweet that said if Jaylen Brown was on a team by himself, he'd score 40 a game.
But this team is a team that. Go ahead.
Sorry, when he's talking to Abby Chin or anybody after games, they want to give him credit. He immediately gives it to somebody else, whether it's Derek White, Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard. Jaylen Brown gives more credit to Peyton Pritchard than anybody else. Right. Jason Tatum gives all the. I don't think that this is selfish basketball by any means.
I didn't say it was selfish. I said they
kind of seems like that's how you feel.
You're saying what you're doing is you're in your own head making up something that doesn't exist.
Well, Curtis is saying that his impression of them is that they feel like they have already arrived.
No, but they've never done that.
They haven't yet.
Okay, I disagree with you. You can have multiple opinions.
No, I'm not saying that you can't have an opinion. I'm just saying that your opinion is wrong. When you look at this team, and Courtney's right, and you heard Porzingis talk about, you heard about this team all year long, talk about how everybody is kind of like they're a selfless team. Everybody's kind of taking on their role. They're far from a team who looks at it like we've been.
I'm not talking about how they play basketball.
Then what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the way they carry themselves. When I think of Paul Pierce, Wiggy, you speak and people are quiet. Somebody starts talking and you immediately interrupt.
No, I'm not saying
maybe I'm talking to Greg as well. I'm not just talking to you.
I understand that. But what you're saying makes no sense, and I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
Well, something would actually make sense if you allowed someone to complete a sentence.
Go ahead, complete it.
No, I don't have to do what you tell me to do.
I'm just saying, go ahead.
I mean, my God, it's not your show. It's Greg's show.
No, but I don't get,
I feel like there's a sigh coming.
No, I don't get, so your panties are in a bunch because somebody's cut you off. You cut people off all the time.
One person starts swearing when they disagree, and it's not me.
Who swears? Listen, I tend to swear in my everyday life, so sometimes words slip out that I swear. But, people jump in all the time. And so no one, it is what it is.
I will say, I feel like this particular season, and especially Jason Tatum, that there's a change in the way they are conducting themselves as a team, and they are less concerned about the individual accolades and more concerned about winning basketball games. I do agree with that.
Everybody agrees with that, but Curtis, so I said, Curtis, tell us why you believe that when we haven't seen it.
I tried to, but I was unable to. Maybe we'll get to it tomorrow.
That is the point, you jackass.
Okay.
I can't believe people get all sensitive when they can't get their point across. I mean, like,
right, you're talking about yourself right there. We just sort of cut it.
We're on Sports Talk Radio. So what? You cut somebody off.
Well, you say you don't understand what someone's saying, and you're not allowing me to speak.
But when I do allow you to speak, you just babble.
So then why do you want me to say my opinion?
Because give me your opinion without the babble. Like, this team.
You are concise. No, I'll give you that.
This team is a selfish team that only cares about themselves. And I say, well, explain to us why.
I was trying to.
And then you go back to stuff that happened last year, 2 years ago.
No, last week he liked a tweet that said if he was on his own, he'd be scoring a lot more.
Oh, so that is
that's Courtney takes like tweets to be his gospel when it's about other subjects. I don't know why it's such a bad take when it was literally the same thing.
Bad take.
But I also think that my mistake when you said that, I thought you were referring to last season when he said that he has to make a lot of sacrifices to play on the same team as Jason Tatum. I agree with Jaylen Brown. If he was on a team where he was the superstar, he'd be putting up 40 points. I don't think that's him saying that he wishes he was on another team. I think that he's already said that before, that he makes sacrifices.
Why did he like the tweet?
Because I think it's somebody giving him props.
Yeah.
And I think Jaylen Brown has been very honest when it comes to him feeling like maybe the fans don't always respect him as much as they should.
Well, the team respected him with the Supermax.
Yes.
I mean, he's got nearly 400.
And he signed it.
He's the highest paid player in the sport, and he's liking a tweet about how great he would be if he was on his own. But no, not selfish.
Do you think he's respected?
Who?
Jaylen Brown, by others in the league.
By the only metric I'm told athletes care about, he is the most respected.
No, right, I don't think. We're talking about he's making money. We're talking about him as a player. Do you think he views himself as being a respected player?
No.
Exactly. He looks like that. He's like plays second fiddle to everybody else, and I don't think he feels like. Other than the money part of it, what we're talking about, just because you get money don't mean that people respect you.
In the last season, I would agree with you, Curtis, that it did seem like maybe they were all out for number one for themselves, and that's why we had the postseason that we had. But when you look at this team right now, it is constantly giving credit to each other and wearing each other's T-shirts, MVP, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown wearing it, them doing press conferences together, joking with each other. It's a completely different feel, in my opinion.
Cut me off anytime. Don't bother me. Just don't side me.
What's next?